I just got back from a ride on my Momentum Transcend E Plus e-bike, and I'm about to do a little chain maintenance and adjustment, and I thought I would make a little video and show y'all how I do it. Please subscribe to this channel and like this video if you find it helpful. The way YouTube works is they're showing your advertisement and they're making money, but I don't get to collect anything until I get 1,000 subscribers. So please lend me a hand and subscribe. Okay, so first thing is I use a dry wax style lube. This is my favorite brand. It's relatively inexpensive. You can get it anywhere, even Walmart sells it. Now the wax type lubes don't make the chain oily. They're actually a dry type lubricant, and so the maintenance is very easy, and I think they make the chains last longer. So for maintenance, after riding say 100 miles or so, maybe sooner if I've been on gravel roads, I just brush this off with the toothbrush. You don't need any solvent, you don't need any cleaner, just brush it off on all four sides, turn it a little bit. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is an inexpensive little maintenance stand I got off Amazon. It's about 20 bucks. Technically, this bike is over the weight limit for this stand, but it works just fine. I really recommend getting one of these. A full-size maintenance stand that would clamp to the frame and hold the bike up higher would be nice, but those start at $75, $100 and up. So being a cheapskate, this gets me by just fine. Plus, it takes up very little space, so I prefer this type. So just take a toothbrush, no solvent, no cleaner. Brush all the old wax off. The wax, as it gets dirty, builds up little clumps, and it just brushes right off. So now my chain is clean. The next thing I'm going to do is check it to make sure it hasn't stretched out too much. There are a lot of different varieties of chain stretch measuring tools out there. Again, being the cheapskate, I went with this one. I think it was $5 or $6. It has two different gauges on it, 0.75 and 1.0. All bicycle chains stretch over time. With an e-bike, you have the strain that you're putting on the chain plus the help the motor is assisting. So chain maintenance on an e-bike is very important, and e-bikes tend to wear out chains a little quicker. So to check this, you hook this part here in a link, and then you press, and if it won't fit, if this prong here won't fit, then your chain is fine. If it does fit down in there, then you stretch to 0.75, which some folks say is time to replace the chain. It also has a thing here for measuring 1.0. If you could get that to fit in there, your chain is done. It's time for a new chain. You need to change it before it breaks on you and leaves you stranded somewhere. So, like I say, every 100 miles or so, I use a brush, clean my chain. While it's nice and clean, I go ahead and measure it, and then I'm going to lubricate it, and I'm going to adjust it. It's got a bit too much slack in it here. I like to see about half that much slack. So I'll show you how to lubricate. I'm not going to do the whole chain, I'll just show you a little bit, and then I'm going to skip ahead to how to adjust the chain. Okay. Now the part you need to lubricate is not the sides of the chain, but the little rollers in the center. And you don't put it on over your sprocket or over your rear sprocket, because then you just make a mess out of everything. You apply it here where the chain is hanging down, and you just need 1 drop or so per link. That's all you need. I've got a towel here to catch any excess. You don't need to just slobber it on here. Just a little bit will do you fine. And you go over the whole chain like that, run it around a little bit, and then I take a paper towel and wipe off any excess. And that's it. Like I say, no solvent, no mess. Now let me show you how to adjust the chain. Now, you're going to need a 5mm wrench, and a 3mm wrench. You do not need to loosen the axle bolts. There's a separate little carrier here that slides forward and backward to adjust your chain. All right, make sure you've got a wrench that fits really well. You don't want to mess up your Allen head bolts here. Loosen them and turn them about 1 rotation. That's all you need, 1 full rotation. You just want to loosen it enough to adjust it. You don't need to loosen it so much that things are really kind of loose and sloppy. So you do these 2 on this side, the 2 on the other side, and there's a small adjustment screw on each side. I don't know if I can get you a good view of it. There we go, right here. And when you turn this screw clockwise, it pulls the wheel backwards. And so you want to just put this in there, a 3mm wrench, and you give it a little turn, and that's all it takes. A little bit on each side. Make sure your wheel is aligned and still straight. If you adjust one side too much and the other side not enough, your wheel will get kind of crooked in the bicycle frame. So adjust it to the chain looks good. Make sure your wheel's nice and straight. And these you don't tighten, you just leave that alone. Once you've got it adjusted, then you tighten your 4 main screws. I'm going to come over here where you can see the chain up close. And I'm going to loosen the screw. And I'm going to tighten it, and you'll see the chain. See the chain tighten up there? That's all you need to do. So adjust that until you've got about 1 inch or less of play here. Now that's actually a little snug. I don't like it quite that tight. Just a tiniest little turn on this makes a big difference. That's about where I like to see it. You've got it at a point in the middle, in between the sprockets, you can move it about 1 inch. That's right about where I like it. So I'll tighten everything up, finish lubing the chain, and I'm all done. I hope you found this helpful. Thank you. Oh, and please subscribe.